Trinity winced. She really tried to focus on her textbooks, but her mate mark kept throbbing. It was this consistent, dull ache. She rose from her seat in the living room to check it in a nearby mirror. The pack crest had darkened on her pale skin. The cloudy, unfinished area that surrounded her mark was lighter than usual, too. "It's changing," she whispered to herself. It didn't make any sense. What was different now than 3 months ago? "I can think of one thing," she thought with a slight flush to her cheeks. It wasn't like Reece unlocked something within her, like he was the key and she was a whole new person now. "Focus, Trinity," she mumbled. She turned back to the makeshift study spot in the living room. She needed to finish checking all of her textbooks. It was the first day of her new semester and the first time someone else had picked up her books for her. "All right, here's 2 for violence in society, 1 for crime theory, and..." Trinity's voice trailed. 2 of the books in her stack were wrong. Ugh, Trinity groaned. "What am I gonna do now?" Trinity spun at the new sound. She spotted 2 men at the door to her room. Elder Frederick, Reece's great-uncle, was there, but Trinity had never seen the man beside him before. Frederick wasn't her favorite person, but he wouldn't bring someone untrustworthy into the Alpha House. "Is something wrong, Luna?" Frederick asked with concern. He crossed into the room with a stranger on his tail. "Nothing serious, just something I need and can't get right now," she told him. "That won't do," the stranger said. "A girl like you shouldn't want for anything." Trinity's brows furrowed. His voice sounded familiar. When would she have heard it? "I'm sorry, but do I know you?" she asked. Elder Frederick chuckled and motioned to the stranger. "You 2 haven't met yet. Let me do the honors. This is Caleb, Reece's cousin, and..." "His beta," Trinity finished. Caleb's jaw clenched. "Sorry, is it rude to interrupt an elder?" Caleb recovered quickly. He flashed a smile at her. "Not when you're family. I'm honored to meet you, Trinity." She grinned. It was nice to have someone actually use her name. So often people in the pack solely referred to her as Luna. It was a sign of respect, but Caleb bypassed that. "Nice to meet you officially. I'm sure we've crossed paths before, but Reece said you've been pretty busy these last few months." Caleb nodded. "Not as busy as you. You've taken up a daycare and you're still in school. I'll have to ask him how he finds time to see you." "It's not my schedule that's the problem," Trinity thought. She forced a polite smile. "You'll have to wait to ask. He's gone for a few days." Frederick frowned. "I must have had my days mixed up. I thought we'd catch him before he left. Don't hold it against me. This old dog's just as sharp as always. Have a good night then, Luna." Frederick left while Trinity awkwardly waited for Caleb to do the same. Caleb sighed. "Such a shame. I wanted to tell Reece what I found in person." Trinity perked up. Caleb had been one of the wolves searching for leads on her attackers. "Anything good?" she asked him. "I don't want to get your hopes up, but it's promising," Caleb said. "Glad to hear it. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to make a few more phone calls." The twins couldn't ignore her forever. "What is it you're missing?" Caleb asked. "It must be important if you're calling about it." "I'm just missing a couple books for my college courses. They start today, and I don't want to fall too far behind in the first week." "You fought so hard to be here for them, too," Caleb said. He shook his head. "You can't lose track now. Would you like me to get them for you?" "All right, just this once. My guards would normally do something like this, but it's an off night for them." Trinity led Caleb over to the table to show him her textbooks. She picked up the 2 that were wrong. Caleb eyed the book for the wrong course. "How about you come with me?" Caleb asked. Trinity felt the ache of her mate mark again. I don't know. Reece would be angry if I left right now, with everything going on. Caleb laughed. Reece vetted me too. If you're not safe with the second strongest wolf in the pack, his own beta, then who can you be safe with? If we do this, it's just to the campus store and back, she said. Caleb bowed. Of course, Luna. I won't even stop for gas. Okay, just let me change first. Trinity rushed out of the living room. She tried to quell the rolling in her stomach, the itch beneath her skin. It's probably just anxiety over keeping something from Reece. She could text him once she got back. Then he'd have no reason to freak out. It was just a simple trip to the store. What could possibly go wrong?
Want to know what happens next? Click on the link in the description below to watch further episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha.